Hey guys, in this short video, I want to give you a list of some of the best and scientifically proven herbs for correcting both an enlarged prostate and even protecting yourself against and treating prostate cancer. Benign prostatic hyperplasia, or the enlargement of the prostate, tends to affect men over the age of 40. And although the conventional theory is that testosterone, or specifically dihydrotestosterone, the potent form of testosterone, is said to be what causes the enlargement of the prostate, the fact of the matter is men over the age of 40 tend to have lower levels of testosterone and DHT than they do in youth. Not to mention that benign prostatic hyperplasia is often associated with or accompanied by sexual dysfunction. And it is well known that sexual dysfunction is largely caused by an imbalance of hormones, specifically lower androgen production, low levels of testosterone and DHT, and higher levels of stress hormones like estrogen and cortisol. So this doesn't really make much sense, but as I've talked about in previous videos in the past, prostate cancer and prostate enlargement are not caused by androgens, specifically not caused by testosterone or DHT. So I'm not going to get into depth about the pathogenesis of prostate issues in this video because I've done it many times in the past. So if you're interested in learning about the true causes of prostate enlargement and prostate cancer, be sure to reference some of these other videos. Because what I want to focus on in today's video is just an extensive list of all of the best herbal remedies that are proven to actually correct benign prostatic hyperplasia, which could be therapeutic for preventing prostate cancer, given the fact that the enlargement of the prostate tends to precede prostate cancer. So with that being said, let's just dive into this list of herbs. I have a handful of different herbs that have been, again, clinically proven to help correct a wide variety of prostate issues, primarily the enlargement of the prostate and prostate cancer. So starting off, I actually have a handful of different herbs that are all protective against the enlargement of the prostate and prostate cancer by acting as an anti-inflammatory, or specifically inhibiting the cyclooxygenase 2 pathway, which is an inflammatory pathway that actually has multiple contributions to the development of prostate cancer cells. And in fact, COX-2 was found to be expressed in basal epithelial cells with 60% benign prostatic hyperplasia and 94% peripheral zone of the prostate. Meaning that in both benign prostatic hyperplasia and prostate cancer, there is an overexpression of the COX-2 pathway, which again is an inflammatory pathway. So keep in mind that inflammation is one of the root contributing factors to most disease states and most cancers. And inhibiting chronic inflammation can be very therapeutic against various types of cancer, specifically prostate cancer. And there are actually a handful of natural substances that can help to inhibit the COX-2 pathway that are going to therefore be very therapeutic against prostate issues. Everything from the enlarged prostate to the inflamed prostate to prostate cancer or a cancerous prostate. And just to name a few of them, at the top we have, of course, nettle root. Nettle root is one of the #1 prostate herbs that you could ever take. If you don't know about nettle root and you have prostate issues, definitely watch this video and some of our other videos that talk about its various mechanisms that are protective against prostate cancer and the enlarged prostate. But one of the specific things it does is inhibits the COX-2 pathway. In addition to nettle root, there's also chamomile, which contains apigenin, which is known to inhibit COX-2. Ginkgo biloba also contains apigenin in the leaves and is a known COX-2 inhibitor. Skullcap also contains a compound that actually inhibits COX-2. And then lastly, we have turmeric, which is a powerful anti-inflammatory that contains curcumin, which is known to inhibit the COX-2 pathway. So those are a handful of known COX-2 inhibitors, which would all be protective against prostate issues by, again, inhibiting the inflammation. Moving along, reishi mushroom actually has been found to be protective against prostate cancer and can help to shrink the prostate. Now, the conventional theory is that reishi is an anti-androgen. It has a 5-alpha reductase inhibiting effect, which actually inhibits the overproduction of DHT, and this sort of supports the whole androgen theory of prostate issues. However, as I pointed out and clarified in this video, reishi mushroom also has powerful anti-inflammatory effects, and it's also likely an anti-prolactin-like substance. Usually all of the substances that are said to lower DHT, also lower prolactin, which is a contributing factor to prostate cancer and prostate issues. But nevertheless, reishi mushroom supplementation has been found to correct prostate issues like prostate cancer, so it's at least worth looking into and exploring some of the research and possibly even experimenting with. Next, and something else to keep in mind that I've mentioned previously before, is that long-term insufficient zinc intake, so a chronic zinc deficiency, is also linked to benign prostatic hyperplasia, or the enlargement of the prostate. And it's actually been found that a daily dose of zinc between 125 to 250 milligrams with honey can actually provide relief of many of the symptoms of enlarged prostate. So consuming adequate dietary zinc is going to be very, very protective against prostate issues and very therapeutic for treating them. And oftentimes people are deficient in zinc because stress increases the demands for zinc and the uses of it. And also, the most zinc-rich foods happen to be the ones that people consume the least. At the top, we have oysters and shellfish, something that not many people tend to consume, at least regularly or consistently. And from there, red meat, particularly the organs like liver, tend to contain the highest concentrations of zinc. And because of dogmatic misinformation, plenty of people don't consume red meat anymore, and they particularly do not consume the organ meats. However, if you're not a fan of shellfish, nor beef liver, or beef in general, or red meat, then I would highly recommend looking into the supplementation of Polyrachis black ant. Polyrachis black ant actually contains the highest concentration of natural or dietary bioavailable zinc. You actually only need about a teaspoon daily to get the recommended amount of zinc for alleviating the symptoms of benign prostatic hyperplasia. So a teaspoon of a Polyrachis black ant powder mixed into coffee or something where you don't even taste it is a lot easier to do than trying to eat a couple of ounces of beef liver or 12 oysters for somebody that might not like these foods. So this is a fantastic tonic herb for this purpose. Its high concentration of zinc is one of the major reasons that Polyrachis black ant has been considered to be such a profound sexual tonic. And remember that benign prostatic hyperplasia and prostate issues typically accompany sexual dysfunction, usually because of low levels of testosterone and high estrogen. And zinc not only increases testosterone, but it also actually acts as an aromatase inhibitor, inhibiting the overproduction of estrogen. So in addition to all of these herbs just mentioned, I want to share a quick email or a testimonial from one of our clients or customers that talked about his success in using specific herbs mentioned here on the YouTube channel for correcting his symptoms of enlarged prostate. So in this email, the person's elaborating on his prostate problems, how it would take him about 10 minutes just to start urinating. He would urinate frequently throughout the day with discomfort. He'd wake up 8 times in the nighttime just to go to the bathroom with difficulty. And he tried everything from going to the doctor to trying other natural remedies like saw palmetto, and he did not experience any relief until he found some of our videos. And what he said was that within 2 months of taking these herbs, black ant, pine pollen, the KSM 66 ashwagandha, ginkgo biloba, and epimedium, that he is completely back to normal. There's no more pain, discomfort, and now urinates a normal frequency throughout the day. So this is a pretty amazing testimonial to hear, because this guy was suffering with prostate problems for years and nothing was working until he started taking these herbs. And again, those herbs were black ant, pine pollen, the KSM 66 ashwagandha, ginkgo biloba, and epimedium. And all of these herbs, as I've talked about in previous videos, are incredibly therapeutic for prostate issues because they correct the primary hormonal imbalances involved in prostate issues. So I just wanted to use this testimonial as a little bit of inspiration and also to show you some other herbs that might be worth taking and considering, but at the same time, getting an idea about how long it might take to correct the issue. So for anybody struggling with symptoms of prostate enlargement or any sort of prostate problems, hopefully these herbs give you an idea of where you can start. Again, if you haven't watched the previous videos that talk about what causes prostate issues, be sure to watch those other videos to get a better idea of how all of these herbs are working. But generally speaking, most of the herbs mentioned here are going to do a couple of primary things. They're going to inhibit the inflammatory pathways that cause prostate cancer or greatly contribute to it. They're going to be correcting the major hormonal imbalances involved in prostate issues, which is usually high prolactin, high estrogen. So it's going to optimize the hormonal profile in your body, amongst acting as antioxidants. However, that does bring this video to a close. So if you've enjoyed it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel for future videos if you haven't yet already. And of course, if you're interested in learning more or supplementing with any of these herbs we talked about here today, you can find all of those on our online tonic herb shop in the description box below.